Welcome back to the show. The Lord of the Rings of Power debuted last night on Amazon Prime. The first 2 episodes are available to watch right now. The show has already made headlines for being the most expensive show ever produced, rumored to have cost Amazon $1 billion to bring to the small screen. First season will consist of 8 episodes. Amazon says there will be at least 5 seasons that they have planned. So far, reviews of the show have been generally positive, with critics praising the show's visual scope, cinematography, and the musical score, though some critics are saying that the show moves a little too slow for them, criticizing the pace. I watched both episodes last night, and as a casual Lord of the Rings fan, I actually really enjoyed it. It felt really good to be transported back to Middle-earth in a way that felt a little bit more fulfilling than the Hobbit movies, which I wasn't really a huge fan of. I really liked the original trilogy. Hobbit movies, I watched one, and I was just like, okay, I think I'm good with this. But we were reintroduced to some of our favorite characters, younger versions of classic characters like Galadriel and Elrond, as well as a slew of interesting new characters. I actually didn't mind the pacing. I think for a show like this, you want to take it slow. You want to really build the world, really get to know these characters. We saw what happened with the last few seasons of Game of Thrones, where they really cranked up the pace, and it just didn't feel good compared to the slow pacing of the earlier seasons. I think was really a strong point of that show. So I don't really agree with the criticism of the show moving too slow. Plus, we're only 2 episodes in, so
did you find it slower than the movies?
Creep you along. Not really, no. The first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring, I think moves pretty slowly, especially in the beginning. Like, it takes so long for Bilbo's party. Like, the last time I watched it, I was like, dang, I didn't realize how long this whole scene was before they actually begin the adventure.
It's possible this has a lot to do, I'm assuming, with like how, just in general, our attention spans are so much shorter. Yes. Than necessarily a flaw, like you were saying with the movie or the show. Right? Exactly,
I think so too. And the episodes are only an hour long, which is pretty typical for like this kind of genre and this like format. So, and they've kind of already set up the course of where the show's going to go and the action. So I don't really think it's moving as slow as I think some of the criticism has been. So I'm really excited to continue watching it. I think it's going to be really cool and exciting. We were talking about this earlier. I think you should perhaps start with the movies before you jump into the show. It's a little bit more, I think, like high fantasy than Game of Thrones. I think Game of Thrones is somehow, in a way, a little bit more grounded in this reality, where you can almost imagine it being like medieval times or like, you know, somewhere in Europe with like
elves
a little bit
of elves and orcs.
Yeah,
that's like.
The Game of Thrones has like a little bit of fantasy worked in. Lord of the Rings definitely takes it up a notch with like different races of like elves, orcs, dwarves, and trees.
You've already watched The House of the Dragon, right? You've seen some of those episodes. So when that first premiered, I know Amazon Prime also owns IMDb, so they're not like hacking the system or anything. So with House of the Dragon on IMDb, that ranked like a 9.0 for episode 1. As far as this one goes, for episode 1, unfortunately, it hit like a 7.0. It's pretty low for an IMDb rating, and I go by those religiously. I don't know if I should, but 7.0 is, like I said, a low rating.
I confidently say I've never looked at an IMDb.
Yeah, I don't really use IMDb.
But you really care. I know you've talked about this before in the past. You read a lot into that. No Rotten Tomatoes for you. It's only IMDb.
Yeah, it's only IMDb.
Like, I'm sure I could have saved myself some really awful viewing had I looked at IMDb.
Yeah,
perhaps.
This is a woman who also watched all the first season of Selling OC in one day.
Almost.
Anyway, sorry.
I find myself putting less and less stock into like the aggregated review sites because a lot of the times it's, I don't know, it's hit or miss with me, especially some of the sites like Rotten Tomatoes, where you can get like the critic reviews and the user reviews, and a lot of times, especially now, like more commonly, you'll see like such a huge disparity between the two, especially for some reason with Disney stuff. Disney and Marvel stuff tends to rate very highly with critics, but some of the more recent things are rating very low with just general users.
Fanboys.
So it's like fanboys, but also, Disney has a lot of money and power behind them. Maybe they're sending these people on junkets to Disneyland or on the cruises, and they're kind of like, lining some pockets in one way or the other. But She-Hulk is
drained.
I don't want to yuck anybody's yum.
No, yuck
not
them.
for me.
Yuck their yum, dude.
I think it's a very poorly written show. There's a lot of valid criticism towards that show, and a lot of, I think, invalid criticism for me as a fan of She-Hulk and the comic books and stuff. I think the show is just remarkably poor writing.
I saw a twerk scene. That
like some people think
joke.
it's kind of fun and like silly in that way, but like
not good.
Wait, there's an actual
there's a twerk scene with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, and
it's bizarre.
Bonkers.
It's truly bizarre.
Let me ask you this though. So like the whole woke movement originally was it was rooted in actual like good intentions, right? They wanted to be more inclusive, have more people a part of the industry or whatever it is, just to bring more people in.
Representation.
More diversity, not only in thought, but in appearance. But so with that, lots of these woke productions tend to do very poorly.
I don't think but it has nothing to do with being woke or not woke. It's just a bad show. It has nothing to do with female lead. It has nothing to do with female empowerment or anything like that. Just the show itself is just poorly written. The jokes are flat. The plot lines are jumbled. It has nothing really to do with like trying to represent, women in a positive. There's plenty of stuff already doing that. There's so many great shows with female leads and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
House of the Dragon?
I think sometimes it's easy to hide behind like, oh, this show is bad because it's taking some sort of position or stance and being woke. It's like, no, it can just be a bad show.
Totally.
It can just be not good.
And I think it's okay to criticize it just because it is bad. And the last thing I'll say, Robert, which maybe can be an angle that you sort of brought up, is that if you make a show and you just say that you should watch this because it has some sort of statement, politically, socially, whatever, then it still has to be a good show. And it can maybe get through. Is this what you're kind of alluding to?
Yeah, absolutely.
It can get through some critical acclaim or something if it does check a box, but it still has to be a good show. And I think that also does a disservice to people if you're like, hey, we're providing this opportunity and there's representation, and by the way, the show sucks.
It sucks.
I don't think it was marketed this way, but Only Murders in the Building on Hulu has a ton of representation. They have people with physical disability, hearing disability. They check a ton of boxes, but the show itself is not about like shoving that in your face. They're just characters in the show.
Yeah,
it
like, hey, this is
be...
just how life is, and we're not gonna make a big.
Exactly.
It's a bummer that they're literally only murderers.
Yeah.
No. And I thought that was interesting. I know we're going on a tangent here, but about Schitt's Creek, that I remember watching that and the Levies saying, people are gay. Like, we're not gonna make this a big conversation between dad and son and mom and dad. Like, it just was. And that's how you like integrate acceptance and tolerance into a TV show and then into society, rather than it always has to be this big, let's magnify the whatever big after. Like, if it is, it just is. It feels patronizing. And I think Only Murders in the Building has incorporated a ton of different people with different kind of walks of life or whatever, and they don't make it about that. They are just characters with good plot lines, good backgrounds.
Because they're fully rounded characters, which is really cool.
Or they're side characters and they're funny and they have a couple one-liners of whatever, but they don't make it all about it being woke. And I think after the whole Pixar Lightyear thing,
that was
people looked at She-Hulk and was like, oh, here's Disney again trying to da-da-da. But if it doesn't hold up as a show, it's not going to hold up as a show, regardless of the messaging that people think is behind it.
Ended up watching Lightyear. Or Buzz, or whatever it was called.
You liked it?
Lightyear.
Yeah, it was fine. It was it wasn't woke at all. There was like nothing in it that was political at all.
So they made a huge deal about like the kiss.
There wasn't even a kiss in it. I don't even remember seeing that.
Exactly.
Like it's like so not important to any of the storyline whatsoever.
But it happened, great, good.
I think it's just much to do about nothing, honestly. But anyway, you want to do this next
Rings
couple
of Power,
ones?
thumbs up though. Lord of the Rings show, good. Watch that. Really quick. This is kind of cool. Electronics company LG has introduced a new bendable gaming monitor. Players can control the level of curvature
that is sick.
Depending on their personal preferences. The arc changes so users can feel more immersive in whatever they're watching or playing, like racing games or first-person shooters. There's also a controllable backlight and self-illuminating pixels that increase the picture quality. The company says having control of the shape makes it easier for users to position around their home. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of crazy what they're doing with screens and gaming peripherals and things now.
Have they provided any have they alluded to anything, a warranty or anything for people who are super strong and who might bend the screen
crack it? I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of coverage, but
okay.
buyer beware.
Is it is it remote or you like pull it yourself?
I think you physically do it.
It's pretty sick because I was always in love with those curved monitors. But sometimes you want it
Somebody
flat.
just got one right here in the lower newsroom.
Yeah.
And it's
so
so cool.
jealous.
Those super wide ones are
Yeah.
so neat. I know.
I want one because now we run on Mac and PC, and we're like the last remaining in the building that do that.
No, we're not.
No, nobody knows about what we do.
But I would love.
This
I used
Adele,
to have
dude.
2 screens when we worked here, and now that we work at home, I'm like constantly going back, click, 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 click. Don't want to take up all. Anyway, okay.